Okay, we left off talking a bit about Fauvism and Matisse and Derain, and I wanted to show you an example of pointillism because that was touched upon last week, and basically the effects of pointillism. So in 1905, Matisse traveled to a village where he was joined by André Derain, and the two men painted excitedly, deliberately, disobeying the rules of painting and using color in an imaginative, personal way. And as you can see in this example, the colors are quite vibrant, and according to Matisse, the uniform dots and dashes of the pure rainbow colors in this and all the paintings of that school of Neo-Impressionism produced the same effect. So he soon moved on to develop his own freer style. And one of his quotes is, "We painted like children in the face of nature." And remember, this painting I showed you is Madame Matisse, and it's called The Green Stripe, done in 1905. And then rather than giving the portrait a realistic background, Matisse set Amelie's face in a patchwork of violet, orange, and turquoise green, along with the dark blue hair and pink and yellow flesh. These areas make up a powerful but balanced pattern in contrasting colors. So you can get a sense of the difference between this painting, which is of uniform dots and dashes, and then the more experimental kind of painting that he did in the early 1900s. In the autumn of 1905, the number of artists, including Matisse and Derain, exhibited their paintings at the Salon d'Automne in Paris. Many visitors were shocked by this new type of art, again known as the Fauves, which means wild beasts in French. And then you can see in this beautiful painting done by André Derain in 1905 and 06, it's called Charing Cross Bridge. Beautiful colors used in this. He used intensely brilliant, unnatural colors and unusual viewpoints. He chose and arranged his colors to make the picture look the way he wanted. Now, the Fauves never considered themselves a formal group. Within a couple of years, the individual artists developed their own differing styles. Although it was short-lived, Fauvism had a broad effect in the development of modern art. It showed how color could be used in a new way, for example, to express feelings. As Matisse wrote, Fauvism is not everything, but it is the foundation of everything. The wild beasts sowed the seeds of expressionism and abstract art, two of the great art movements of the 20th century. So in the past, artists had always tried to create paintings and sculptures that looked like real people, places, and objects. However, the increasing use of photography developed in the mid-19th century by Louis Daguerre in 1789 to 1851 made many artists eager to experiment with different, less representational styles of painting. And through Neo-Impressionism, Matisse understood how color in painting did not have to be used in a descriptive, naturalistic way. Okay, so just giving you a little bit more information. Now, working with André Derain in southern France in the summer of 1905, Matisse explored more creative and exciting uses of color. Meanwhile, other friends of Matisse, including Albert Marquet and Maurice de Vlamnik were developing their strong style along similar lines using bold, contrasting colors and rapid, sketchy brush strokes. And let's see. Okay, so he used pure color, and it said he mentions that when he paints green, it doesn't mean grass. When I paint blue, it doesn't mean sky. In a way, the 20th century master Henri Matisse in 1869 to 1954 summed up the essence of his approach to color. From the brilliant vigor of his early Fauvism paintings to the luminous serenity of his later masterpieces, Matisse freed color once and for all from its literal descriptive role. His choice of shades was governed by observation, feeling, and the very nature of each experience. In order to match his colors to the intensity of his emotions, Matisse deliberately organized them in the most expressive way. If he needed a balance of pure, unmixed hues to provide a restful surface for the eye, he did not hesitate to create it. Often he would change his colors while in the process of painting until he achieved the harmonious combination of tones that he could already see in the mind's eye. And you can see this painting in the corner. It's called Harmony in Red, done 1908 to 1909. And here Matisse used color of equal brightness and saturation throughout the picture so that no area is seen to be the background. The figure, the table, the wall, the window, the lemons all engage our attention equally, inviting our eye to move over the vibrating surface. The mutual attraction of these intense colors is similar to that of the Persian miniatures loved by Matisse, but the huge expanse of red with the red table flattening out to become unified with the red wall flouts the rules of decorative harmony in which bright patches of color were usually small. He originally painted Harmony in red and blue, or blue-green, later altering the color to create a cocoon of warmth. And then you can see later on, then he ventured into cutting paper. And we'll talk more about Matisse. We will talk more next week about him. But following 2 operations for duodenal cancer in 1949, Matisse was confined to a wheelchair. Undaunted by the fact that he could no longer paint at an easel, he began to make pictures out of pieces of cut-up colored paper that had been first painted in gouache. The texture of the paint is clearly visible, and cutting directly into color, he wrote, reminds me of the direct action of the sculptor carving stone. At last he had found a form in which line, drawn by his scissors, color, and idea could be realized simultaneously. And you can see these beautiful cutouts organized on canvas. Okay, so I mentioned last week we would do a review of the, let's flip this over so maybe you can see a little better, the color wheel. And we have the 3 primary colors, and that's in this primary triangle if you look. So we've got yellow, red, and blue. And of these 3 colors, all the other colors on the color wheel are created. Now, the secondary colors, so these are primary colors. The secondary colors are the upside down triangle in these dashes. They're orange, green, and purple, also known as violet. So those are the secondary colors: primary, yellow, red, blue; secondary, orange, green, and violet. So to help you understand what colors make what. So if you combine the yellow with the orange, you get yellow-orange, and this is called a tertiary, or tertiary color. If you combine the orange and the red, you get red-orange, red and violet, red-violet, violet and blue, blue-violet, blue and green, blue-green, and green and yellow, yellow-green. So just as you're working on any piece of art, you can refer back to the color wheel, and there are combinations of colors that are complementary to each other, which they work well with each other. And there are 3 combinations. So when you look at the color wheel, it's the color opposite across from on the color wheel that complements one another. So when you have red, what complements the color red going across diagonally to your color wheel, green complements red. So when you use blue, what complements blue, you go across diagonally, and orange complements blue. And then violet, or purple, you go right across on the color wheel, and yellow is a complement to purple. So this helps in if you're stuck and go, I don't really know what color looks good with another color. You can use that in the color theory of what is on the color wheel, what complements each other, and that might help you. Okay, so we'll go and we'll explore that more, but I wanted to get started on our coyote, and we have our blue paper. So we want to be able to sketch it out first. And remember I mentioned if you were able to order the Stabilo 3-in-1 color pencils, these are terrific to use. If you don't have that, we're going to use oil pastels, but we want to be able to do our drawing first. So what I suggest using is a light color pencil that you can do the initial drawing of your coyote, and then use the oil pastels or the Stabilo pencils. So what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing the face of the coyote and then just part of the body. So we're going to be doing it on the right side of the paper, and we're going to start not in the center but up from the center towards the top, but not at the very top. Now you want to see if that works. If that doesn't work, then I suggest using a lighter color. Sometimes you just have to kind of play with different ideas before something actually works really well. So I'm going to use, well, that might not show up very well, and it shows up kind of on here, so I'm going to try another color. And I'm hoping that you can see this color. So I'm making the shape of, I think I'll just use a black. I have a black pencil, or a very dark pencil, that might be better. Let's see, maybe like a very dark blue. I'll try that so that we can test to see if that's gonna work. Okay, that might be a little better. Is it? I think so. All right, so we've got what looks like kind of like the shape of a part of a leaf, and then we're going to do a short straight line and then go up slightly at a diagonal here. Let's see. Now you can erase this pencil on the paper. That will work. And then we'll just do the second ear. So you should be able to see it. Let me put something down on here so you can weight it down so that you can see it a little better. And then we're going to be doing the face. So you're going to start to make your way down, kind of make a short curve in, and then take that down it in a diagonal. Let me see, I'm gonna try black. So you can see sometimes if it's not working, you need to find other alternatives. Okay, now I'm gonna use black. And we're gonna do the snout. So I want a relatively big size. Okay. So really all you'll need is a colored pencil, and you can see I can erase this. Don't press too hard with your pencil, just so that you can make any, and then I'm going to do the neck, and then curve out and down to the bottom of the paper so that you can make any adjustments as you're working. Now I'm going to go to the back part of the ear and do the back of my coyote, and that's going to take and go away from the ear. And then I'm going to drop curve and then drop your line going to the bottom of your paper. Hello. Hello. Never good timing on their part. I'm going to work on this just a little bit more. Uh-oh, he's coming over. Hi, Chip. Hello. All right, so the nose will be kind of drawing a curve and then coming down. Hello. And we want to, where this curves, no, where this curves, we're going to be making a curve, and this part will be where the eye will be, and then that's going to come and join that top part of the nose. So it's a pretty simple outline, all right? The fun part will be the colors that we'll be adding to. So right across from this top curved line, we're going to draw the other eye. I'm going to kind of make a guide dot, and you're going to curve up and take a short line out and then curve under. And then kind of make like a V shape right in the corner. So we want to mark where the other eye is going to be. Now we're going to make this very colorful, like Matisse and Derain would do in their art. So right in this part right here against this curved line, and then where it starts to straighten out, we're going to be making the other eye. So we don't see all of it. We do see part of it. So we're going to draw out that other eye, and at the top here, we're going to do the pupil, and we're going to make a little curve here for the other pupil, and we're going to widen the area around the eye. As you can see, the eyes are pretty dramatic looking. They're really beautiful animals. And then right in the inside here, we're just going to draw kind of a line going towards the nose. So I'm going to use this black pencil that I have out already, and I'm going to be kind of coloring in my nose with the black. There is not going to be a lot of black in this picture. Okay, so I'm going to be kind of marking some areas that will be slightly darker. And as you can see, it's the style of this particular piece that does not have what a realistic coyote would have. Okay, So I've kind of shaded in some areas with my black pencil to bring out the features on the coyote's face. Then I'm going to go to the back part, like the haunch, like the hip area, and I'm going to make a curved line. And I'm going to kind of make kind of a soft curved line going towards the side of the back line that I made for the back of the coyote. And then I'm just going to add with my pencil just kind of some lines that show fur, and then just take that down to the bottom. And that's basically all you need to draw for the basic outline of your coyote. Now, you want to have a rag and something to wipe your fingers off on. And we're going to just start blocking in some color in our coyote. And then we'll stop and we'll work on it some more next time I see you. So I'm going to find a white, and I'm going to be doing some patchy areas on this coyote. And you kind of want to have an edge that you can work with on your pastel. And I'm just going to make a curved line right where the base of the neck and the shoulder join together. And you'll see that the colors are patchy, like I showed you in the examples last week of some of the still life and landscapes of the Fauvism art. So this is very much similar to Fauvism in that it's very bright, lots of color, and kind of just very organic in the way the color just kind of flows through your coyote. And as you can see, I'm just adding some areas, patchy areas of white. And it's important, you know, I have a really tiny piece here, but I can still use it. And my paper is not that big, so I can definitely okay, and as you can see, I'm not really blending with my finger on the pastel. I know sometimes we just want to blend it, but we're not doing that. We want the pure color. We want it kind of raw and it's kind of beautiful. Organic. I'm at a loss for words here. Layout of color. So I'm using the white and I'm just adding some of the white to some of the areas of my coyote. And I'm pressing firmly with my pastel so that the color really stands out. And I'm not blending any of it in. Okay. So you can always go back in and add some more, but this is where I want to go with this. So you can put it back. And then I'm going to find like a deep purplish blue. It's a beautiful color. So it should be darker than the background paper. And as you can see, it is, so that's good. And I'm just laying it in some parts of this animal. Kind Kind of going along the side of the nose. And I'm going right up to the white. I'm not covering up or blending into the white. I am just leaving it right next to it. I'm going to go over this part here. You can also turn your paper as you're working so that you don't get you don't smudge any of your color. I'm just basically going to go along the front of the leg. Okay, and like I said, you can go back and forth, but we're just kind of laying out the colors that we want to see for right now. Now I'm going to use kind of a nice bright lime green. And you're not coloring in, but coloring around some of the colors that you've already laid down. Going right up against, going along the back of his body. Okay, good. Now, for the eyes, obviously the oil pastels are going to be way too thick to get into the tiny areas of the eyes. So what I recommend is using a color pencil and coloring in around the eye. Now, obviously the background is blue, so it's going to look a bit green. But you want something that's got a nice point to it so that you're able to color that in. Okay, now I'm going to use kind of this yellow orange. And if any of your pastels are really dirty, just simply wipe them off on a rag before you start to use them. And since our background is blue already, the yellow and the blue combined have like a greenish hue to them. You're going along right up to the eye, leaving some space above it and under the eye. Going right up to the blue, but not into it. And then I'm just going to take some of this yellow and push it out towards the face. Watch where your other hand is. I'm going alongside this line. So the yellow makes it really pop. Especially if you press on the pastel. Okay. Put that aside, and now I'm going to use kind of an orangey red. And I'm using the edge of the pastel so that I can get in some of those in-between areas with it. And I'm being very careful going around, but using the edge so I have more of a point on my pastel. And then I'm going to go in the back right up against the yellow and take that all the way down to the bottom. And add right up to the blue. Go under the eye. Now be careful because the eyes are tiny. I'm just going to blow off any of the excess. I'm going to find a nice bright pink. If you need to peel off any of the paper on the pastel, that's fine. Take this pink and go above the eye so it makes it pop just a little bit. Take that right to the bottom. And I'm going to use the edge. And I'm going to kind of go along the blue line and go all the way around, kind of a nice outline. And take that down. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more and then we're going to stop and finish it next week. So I'm looking for kind of a purple that has some red in it. You may want to test it before you use it. And take that purple. And it doesn't have to look exactly like mine. It's not the idea. Okay. All right, so for now we're going to stop and we're going to continue and finish this up next time I see you. And then we're going to be starting a still life. Okay, so thank you and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.